You said Allahu Akbar and then folded your hands. Now just take a look at the position for folding your hands. My left hand, some people make a fist like this, but you should keep it in a normal position. Like after that, you place your right hand over your left hand in such a way that it's in a natural position. Some people grip it like this, which is fine if it's easier for you. But this is the normal position. And if you keep it like this, it will also be easier for you to maintain. This is the Sunnah method as we learn from the hadith in Sahih Bukhari. In Sahih Bukhari, there is a hadith where Sahal ibn Sa'd al-Sa'idi says that during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we were instructed to place our right hand over our left forearm. Now, the forearm is from the wrist to the fingers. In Abu Dawood and Nasa'i, there is a hadith that the Prophet placed his right hand on the back of his left hand, wrist and forearm. Sa'id refers to the area from the wrist to the fingers. The word kaf is used in Urdu as well. It's originally Arabic. From the fingers to the wrist is called risk, and the whole area is called zira, forearm. In ancient times, when battles were fought, people would wear armor that covered the entire body, including the forearm. In Sahih Muslim, it is simply mentioned that the Prophet placed his right hand over his left hand. The details are found in Bukhari, Abu Dawood, and Sunan Nasa'i. In Musnad Ahmad, there is a narration that the hands were folded on the chest. Now, folding on the chest doesn't mean you fold them like this. The definition of the chest is from the throat to the navel. This whole area is considered the chest. So wherever you place your hands within this area, it will naturally fall into a specific position, not too high, not too low. It is above the navel and quite below the throat. This is the normal position. In this position, when you pray in congregation, you can align your feet with the person next to you and your shoulders as well. If you raise your hands too high, then only your elbows will touch, not your shoulders. In the same way, my brothers, when you fold your hands below the navel, this is against the Sunnah. Regarding this, a hadith from Sunan Abi Dawood is often presented, but Imam Dawood, may Allah have mercy on him himself, wrote alongside it that there is a narrator. It is in this hadith, Abdul Rahman bin Ishaq al-Kufi, about whom I personally heard Amr bin Anbas say that he used to consider him weak. Here, people presented the narration but skipped over the ruling given by the Imam. So, we should not do it that way, nor should we do it the other way. Rather, we should fold our hands in the manner that is the Sunnah. Or, the second method is to perform Irsal al-Yadain instead of Wad al-Yadain. For this, what we do is, after saying Allahu Akbar, some people join their hands completely, some make a fist, and some stand like this, which is completely wrong. The correct way is to stand in a normal position, and this is called Irsal al-Yadain. This is also Sunnah. Although in the narration of Sunan al-Bara, the narrator Qusayb is weak, there are authentic narrations from Abdullah ibn Zubair in Musannaf ibn Abi Shaybah. In fact, Musannaf ibn Abi Shaybah has an entire chapter mentioning the companions and followers who used to pray with their hands folded and those who used to pray with their hands hanging at their sides. So both methods are Sunnah. Some people, as soon as they start the prayer and say Allahu Akbar, drop their hands and then fold them. This too is against the Sunnah. If you want to leave your hands at your sides, then do so and pray. This is also Sunnah. And if you want to fold your hands, then fold them and pray. That too is Sunnah. But do not do it in this way, by dropping your hands and then folding them.